Hi and welcome to All My Bubbles. This is Jen. I'm the owner and creator at All My Bubbles. So I left a few things out when I did the voiceover on the original video, so I thought I would come back in and do it all again. So for a start, I've already weighed out all of my oils and everything. What I'm doing here in this video is making a soap for my My Little Pony collection. It's part of a collab I'm doing with Lee Parker from Wickedly Goods. So I've linked her channel down below. Please go over and check it out. She has some really amazing soaps and products. So what I'm doing here is I'm splitting my oil off into 3 containers. So the 2 big ones that are the first ones I'm doing are for the actual base soap itself. There'll be 2 different colours of pink. And then the last little bit that's left over there that I've just poured out is for some piping that goes up on top. So the recipe that I use for my soaps is the Royalty Soaps recipe. So go on over and check out that channel as well. Katie from Royalty Soaps is a really fantastic recipe she shares with everybody. So the oils that I use in my soap are olive oil, palm oil, castor oil, sweet almond oil and coconut oil. This one also has a bit of coconut milk in the lye solution so that the milk, adds a little bit of texture to the soap. So what I've just done here is added some micas to the soap to put a bit of colour in. That's what I always use for my colorants, micas, and I get all of my micas from my Mica Obsession. So the micas that I've used in this one are cerise and French rose and a bit of ultramarine pink. And then I decided that one of them was a little bit too peachy, so I put a little bit more cerise mica and some titanium dioxide in. Titanium dioxide is that white stuff you see, and the other stuff I've poured in there is just the fragrance oil, which is sparkling strawberry on this one. So the technique that I'm using on this soap is what's called a drop swirl, and what that means is you just drop a different colour of soap into the base soap and you get this really lovely pattern on the inside of the 2 different colours all swirled together nicely. So the soap unfortunately started moving a little bit faster than I was expecting here, so I had to rush a little bit in getting that second colour in. But it all turned out in the end. The soap ended up looking really fantastic. It actually turned out quite surprisingly different to what I was expecting. So these little pots you see here, they're little corn cups that I use. They're really environmentally friendly. They just biodegrade, break down over time. I've tried washing them sometimes, and if the water's a little bit too warm, they start biodegrading straight away, which isn't so great. But they're really good for just mixing my micas and things in. And these colours and this portion of the soap is what I use to do my piping on top. So I love doing a little bit of piping. It makes the soap look a little extra fancy. And these 2 extra colours that you see, so the really vibrant pink, that's the cerise pink, and then we've got a bit of Wellington yellow and some Catalina blue. Both really beautiful colours. And I chose these colours because the pony that inspired this soap, which would be Pinkie Pie, has both pink, blue and yellow as part of her colouring. She's mainly pink, but she's got some little blue and yellow balloons on her butt. So quite often when I do my soap frosting, I will put the soap frosting onto some Glad wrap because it makes it a little easier to mix the colours together rather than trying to put it all in the piping bag at once. So I just put it on the Glad wrap first and then drop the Glad wrap into a piping bag. As you can see, it was still a little bit too runny, so I just waited a little bit longer before I did the piping. Unfortunately, I lost the footage of the piping, but you can see here how it turned out. I think it looks really, really fantastic on top. A little bit more blue and yellow than I wanted, but I'm still really loving the outcome. It turned out really great. And then I've come back the next day and this is the soap being cut. So That little blue thing you can see me using there, that is a soap cutting guide from Wickedly Goods. So I received that pretty recently and I absolutely love it. As you can see there, that's how a drop swirl turns out in the middle of the soap. And yes, there is a reason I'm running the knife across the surface. When you do have some really vivid colours on top of soap, it quite often drags those colours down into the soap. So just running a knife carefully across the surface will pull any extra drag marks down and out of the way. So yeah, I love this little handy gadget from Lee at Wickedly Goods. It's absolutely fantastic. My soap has become so much more even. I'm getting really uniform slices now when I'm cutting my blocks. So yeah, it's really super handy if you are a soap maker and you don't have one of those big wire cutters, which one day I will definitely get for myself. Highly recommend this little soap cutter. So at this point I've cut the entire loaf and I'm just beveling my edges a little bit. I usually do this with just a veggie peeler, but I decided I'd give it a go using my knife, and yeah, quite like how it came out. So this here is some little stamps that Rod printed up for me on the 3D printer, and they came out really fantastically. He's such a whiz when it comes to 3D printing, and yeah, made a few stamps for me for this collection, which have turned out really great. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting me. This is how the soap turned out. I'm super excited. It looks absolutely fantastic. So please click the subscribe button, give me a like if you like what you saw, and pop any questions down below. Have a great day.